Now, this is Luffy. Luffy, a kid, right? Eats this fruit that's supposed to make him a god. And since then has taken absolutely or close to no damage his entire
What?
life.
What? What are you talking about?
Facts.
Are we watching the same One Piece? What are you talking? Do you
I'm
know
saying
how
what
many
I'm
times
saying.
Luffy
I'm saying
almost
what I'm
died?
saying.
No, bro, you can't say that. What the hell? Nah,
I'm
bro,
saying what
nah.
I'm saying.
Let's stop this discussion. This discussion is over. This guy's crazy. He's doing drugs. Sorry, we need a psychiatrist. Anyone who's
No,
close.
that was rage bait. Oh, it was rage bait.
All right, all right,
I just wanted to get you views.
all right.
But
Yeah.
on the serious note, yo, I had a topic I wanted to discuss actually.
Okay, what's up?
Between the big three, who do you think was given the most out of all of them? Like who got every single thing?
What do you mean by
Ichigo.
that? Like, exactly? What do you mean by who was given the most? What do you mean
I
by
mean, they
the?
were given everything. I mean, this guy was straight up an isekai character when he was born or when he started his story. He started it off not on zero, he started it off on 9,000.
Well, it has to be Ichigo first, and then second, it has to be
Ichigo.
Naruto.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, Ichigo first, and then Naruto second.
Luffy
Me
last
personally, me personally, I think Luffy got the most out of all of them.
What? What?
Me personally. Let me explain why.
Yeah.
So, what what did Ichigo get? Ichigo, the only thing he got was his hollow. He was born with Soul Reaper. He was born with Quincy. His mom and
Yes.
dad, they did the thing. He didn't ask for any of that. But the hollow, that came out of Aizen. Naruto was born with Namikaze, sorry, and he was born with Uzumaki. He didn't ask for that. He only got the nine tails, and he didn't even ask for that. His dad was like, I'm gonna put this demon monster inside of a newborn baby. Luffy sat next to a red haired legend and ate this man's precious fruit without even asking what was going on because he was frustrated. And what happened? He became a rubber man. Years later, somewhere in feudal Japan island, we find out he's the reincarnation of a god. Tell me how that works. Tell me how that works.
All right, hold on.
All right.
All right,
He wasn't born with anything.
you go
Let me
first.
put in my let me put in my 2 cents. So you
I
are aware
bet. I bet.
you are aware that Garp was training Luffy as a kid for him to become a marine, right?
Right. Facts.
Exactly. When he was a little kid. And do you know that he was training with Ace and Sabo when they were kids in the forest, right?
Right. I remember Ace kicking down an entire tree as a kid. I was
Okay.
like, what
Now,
the heck is this kid?
hear me out. Hear me out. The
I'm
strength of-
listening.
Hear me out. Wait. Let me finish. I get you time, bro. Hear me out. The strength of Luffy came from training. It's purely hard work. It's all hard work. Okay, fine. He became a rubber man. Fine. Okay, fine. He became a rubber man because he ate the gum fruit. But do you know that you're becoming eating that fruit doesn't mean that you're invincible already. You know, like when you fought crocodile, he didn't even know haki yet. He had to train to gain haki and to discover ways of using his power. At the end, all right, when you look at Ichigo, yeah, that the halophone speaks to him within him. No working out,
All
not
right,
doing what.
hold on.
Because
I want to say
yeah,
something. Look here. So let's say Luffy finally discovered that he was a god because of the Nika Nika fruit, right? But
yeah.
think about it this way.
Right.
He was using the devil fruit wrong all along. Okay?
Yes.
So Luffy actually was very creative. Okay? So Luffy was very creative with what he was given. And at the end of the day, he wasn't, you said who was born, right? With advantages.
No, I
Luffy,
didn't say I didn't say who was born. I said who was given the most advantage.
Cool.
Who got
Cool.
the most advantage?
Cool. Let's take a case study, shall we? So let's look at Ichigo.
Okay.
Ichigo Kurosaki, which is my favorite big three character. Favorite big three anime, anyways. Ichigo was born with 4 different things, bruh. He was born because of Hollow White, he had Hollow powers. And because his father was a Shinigami, he had Shinigami powers. And because his mother was a Quincy, he had Quincy powers, right? And then also because of what happened when the mother was attacked by a Hollow when he was in the belly, then he got Fullbringer powers. So he has all 4 powers of Bleach, right? And he's not even born. He's not even born. Now think about it this way. His father, spoilers for many, his father was from a royal family, which makes his father and his bloodline even stronger as Shinigami already. He's already like peak Shinigami. Before he was born, he's just still a sperm at this point. He's peak Shinigami as a sperm. And then, yeah, bruh.
Okay.
And then look, his mother was a Quincy who was going to marry into the Quincy family, right? Pure blood Quincy. Okay? So
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you straight up that Ichigo was the one who was given the most. Why? Because he didn't have to work in any sort of way to become strong.
Mhm.
He was born
Yes.
seeing
Wait a
hollows.
minute.
He was born
Wait.
with a lot of spiritual
I'm
energy.
gonna have to stop you there. There's no way you're gonna say Ichigo didn't have to work hard to become strong. I'm
No.
gonna stop you there.
Hold
I'm gonna
on.
stop you there. Wait, you said that. I got that on record. You said that.
All right, cool.
That's
And
what you said.
I stand by what I said. Ichigo, if Ichigo woke
Okay.
up, if Ichigo woke up as a baby, right? Guess what? He would
Right.
only have to flex his spiritual energy.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm gonna remind you. I'm gonna remind everyone.
All right.
That first episode of Bleach, Ichigo got bound by a simple spell. A simple spell. He got bound. Remember that.
And what did he
Rukia
do?
put
What
her
did it?
fingers together.
What did he do when he was bound? What did he do? This is a normal human
He
bound by,
released it.
bruh. If
He
you
released it. Why? Why did he release it?
because he
Wait,
was
why did he
born
release
like
it?
that. He was born like that, bro. He was born like that.
Exactly. Now, this is Luffy. Luffy, a kid, right? Eats this fruit. That's supposed to make him a god. And since then has taken absolutely or close to no damage his entire
What?
life.
What? What are you talking about?
Facts.
Are we watching
Facts.
the same One Piece? What are you talking? Do you
I'm
know
saying
how
what
many
I'm
times
saying.
Luffy
I'm saying
almost
what I'm
died?
saying.
No, bro, you can't say that. What the hell? Nah,
I'm
bro,
saying what
nah.
I'm saying.
Let's stop this discussion. This discussion is over. This guy's crazy. He's doing drugs. Sorry, we need a psychiatrist. Anyone who's
No,
close.
that was rage bait. Oh, it was rage bait.
All right.
I just wanted to get you views.
All right.
But
Yeah.
on the serious note, the reason I'm asking this, right, is because I'm saying if you took away what was given, not who was born with what was given. If you took away Luffy getting given his devil fruit, you took away Ichigo getting given his hollows, and you took away Naruto getting given the nine tails. Ichigo would have survived this verse. Naruto would have survived this verse, but Luffy would not have survived this verse.
Wait, hold on. No.
I stood by
You
my
cannot say
statement.
that.
I stood by my statement. Hear me out. Hear me out.
All right.
Hear me out.
What?
All right, fine. If Luffy didn't eat the gum fruit, in his basic form, he would have survived crocodile there because he didn't know haki yet. But for Baggy the clown and the guy with the blaze, like that kind of guy, you remember that guy?
Yeah,
You
I
just
remember.
you just survived those, but his toughest talent would have been crocodile because
Hold
he would
on.
have been crocodile.
Hold on, guys. Let's take a moment to pause here.
I'm not for sure.
Let's take a moment to pause. when Luffy was in
I
the
bet.
forest being trained by Garp, was he already having the Nika Nika fruit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
My bad. All right, you got a point. But anyways, there are many people who don't have devil fruits in the One Piece verse who are doing just fine.
Were
And
either trained by someone that strong or they
no,
were given some
So
other type of strength.
so think
Case
about
in point.
Luffy.
Case in point. Wait a minute.
Hold on. Luffy, if he didn't get the
Alright,
devil fruit in episode 1, being trained by Garp, he would have survived, bruh. He would have been a top tier dude because he was trained by Garp, bro.
no,
What's up with
no,
you?
no. I
What?
want you guys to name every single fight. I want you to name every single fight and tell me how Luffy would have survived without his gum gum fruit.
All right.
When he started off fighting the Marines to save Zoro, what helped him was the fact that those bullets couldn't penetrate his skin because he's rubber. When he fought Elvita, his body would bounce away from the thing hitting him. When he had to fight, we could name anyone. We could name that guy when he had to get Sanji, who had 100 weapons. He had 100 weapons. How was he going to survive that?
Hold on.
How?
All right. Think about it this way. Would Garp have survived that?
Garp is a much different being than Luffy. He's a much different being.
But he's
This
a
man has
human.
battle experience. He has battle experience from everything, and he had haki already. Luffy didn't have haki.
Yeah.
He had no way to survive the ocean. He had no way to survive.
I agree. I agree. I'm just saying, look, if Garp survived it as a human, Luffy would have survived it as a human. Because Luffy,
How?
what
That's the
Luffy?
thing. How?
I don't know how. I'm not the writer of the story. I'm not the writer of the story. But
That's
if Garp would have survived it, Luffy would have survived it, bro. And think about it this way. Luffy eventually discovered haki because he was never trained in that in the beginning, right? But if he was trained in the beginning, he would have been fine. Do you know Luffy is such a genius? He learns techniques very quickly. He learns techniques quickly, bro. He's not slow and he's smart. He uses his brain when he's fighting, regardless of how he acts.
Luffy adapts quickly.
Exactly. And he's smart too.
I'm not saying you guys are wrong. You're right. You're right. I saw him copy Sanji's move to get away from Smoker, which to this day, in my brain, I'm still like, how the heck did he do that? Like, if someone could explain it, he was running away from Smoker. I remember seeing this scene. He ran away from Smoker on top of roofs. All of a sudden, teleports just like Sanji. I'm like, no way. They show the scene. He's upside down. I'm like, he copied the move on accident.
Anyways, point
I was like,
is,
that's crazy.
There are many top tier people in One Piece who didn't have devil fruits. And think about it this way. Luffy was constantly compared to Gold D. Roger, right? Not because of his strength, but people were just like, oh, this kid reminds me of Gold D. Roger. But that guy didn't have devil fruit. So Luffy did not, like, Luffy without a devil fruit, with the way his brain works and his character and everything, he would definitely survive the One Piece verse. 100% without any problems whatsoever. And he would still say, I will be the king of the pirates. He will still say it too.
I'm not gonna lie. I disagree. I completely disagree. You can send it to your chat and have them. You can send it to your chat, have them put up the argument. I stand by my statement. If Naruto and Ichigo and Luffy were born the way they were born, Naruto would still survive because he's an Uzumaki. He has tons of chakra. Ichigo, he's a Quincy and a Soul Reaper. Luffy is a human being with no haki.
He would have learned. He could have learned eventually haki, bro.
Yeah.
If he needed to. But think about it. He only learned haki because he needed to learn haki. If he didn't need to learn haki, he would still run around being a stupid. Do you know that we only discovered that Luffy has gears when it was necessary? When it was necessary, that's when there's gear 1. Oh, there's gear 2. He won't learn something if it's not necessary. He learns something if it's necessary. So if he didn't have the devil fruit, he would definitely be using haki. Definitely 100%. I cannot see Luffy failing to use haki. I cannot see that. No, I can't. Sorry.
Me personally, I can, because if if we're following the continuity of the story, this is the issue. He starts off on a ship with
Marineford.
a really
Right.
fat lady.
Marineford. Remember Marineford, right? When Luffy used Conqueror's haki by mistake. Perfect example. When Luffy used Conqueror's haki by mistake without being taught how to use haki. Closing argument.
All right.
No, no.
Because he's a genius,
On that one,
and that's
no, no, no,
100%
no.
true.
That's Rocket is a genius. Who's this? I forgot this old man, Rayleigh. Rayleigh. Rayleigh explained Luffy can use haki because of the many experiences he had. Because of those experiences, it's trained his body enough to use that haki. If he didn't have his devil fruit, how would he have those experiences? How?
Oh, you have a point, but guess what? The question we want to ask is, if Luffy did not have the devil fruit, would he still want to be king of the pirates? Because if yes is the answer,
Definitely.
yeah, so he would get the experience through that, because he will still be fighting those guys,
How?
because he will still want to be king of the pirates.
I am busy with my friends. I need time to do this. We are having a very honest discussion,
Yeah.
and I'm still failing to see their point of view. I'm trying to see your point of view, but again, how would he survive half the stuff that he survived? Half of the stuff he survived
All right.
only because
All
of the
right.
devil
All
fruit.
right. All right. Two people that would have defeated Luffy without his devil fruit. Do you want to hear them?
I'm listening. I'm listening. Huh?
All right. Crocodile has the chance of defeating Luffy, but Luffy didn't have haki there, so he used water and his blood to touch the sand of Crocodile. So Luffy may defeat
Yeah.
Crocodile. Yeah. But there's this one guy from Skypiea who had the lightning fruit. What was his name again? I'm forgetting, from Skypiea. That one would have defeated
I
Luffy.
don't.
I
I don't know
I
his
forgot
name,
his
but I
name.
remember
Yeah,
that guy.
I forgot his name right
Yeah,
now.
because he uses
Enel, if I'm not mistaken, Enel.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Luffy defeated him because Luffy was made out of rubber, and lightning rubber, see, it doesn't have that much effect.
Yeah,
You
Luffy
see,
would have died, right? Luffy would have died.
it was died,
That guy was
it was
top tier.
died.
Top tier, top tier.
Oh,
Enel
no,
was
no,
top
no.
tier. Top tier.
Bro,
I would have eaten his devil fruit because that devil fruit was OP. That's one of my favorite devil
me,
fruits.
my one issue with what you guys are saying is you're not proving to me how you'd be. I'll give you another character. There's that guy with the long nails who uses air slash attacks. How is Luffy tanking those attacks without his devil fruit? That man was slashing
But,
up
oh,
whirlwinds, bro.
remember, Luffy's devil fruit is weak to slash attacks, not physical attacks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you hit him with sharp objects, he gets cut because rubber gets cut with sharp objects. But if you hit
right.
rubber with a boulder, it doesn't get damaged. It just bounces.
But you also,
He
but in
defeated
that
that guy.
same sentence, we also learned that that Luffy's body heals faster because of the rubber, and that's why the slashing attacks don't do that much damage. Now he doesn't have the heal faster. How is he gonna heal?
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
he's doing it
Listen.
man.
Listen. I'll say this. I'll just say this in my own opinion, right? Um, I feel like
Mhm.
if Luffy was gonna live in the One Piece world, he would definitely survive without the devil fruit. That's my conclusion. I don't know how, because unfortunately, that's not how the story was written, right? But I do know that he was going to survive. Um, and yeah, we're just dwelling on what ifs right now. But the reality of the matter is, if it's his story, if One Piece is about Luffy and the author didn't give him devil fruit powers, guess what? The author will make a way. I don't know how, but the author, Oda, would definitely make a way for my boy. But my boy, don't sleep on my boy, bro. Don't sleep on my boy. He will definitely
I'm not
survive
sleeping on
the.
your boy. I'm
He
not
will
sleeping on your
survive the
boy.
One Piece verse, bro. Definitely survive.
I
Take away Ichigo's
I
powers,
couldn't
bro.
agree to
Take
disagree.
away Ichigo's powers. Ichigo would be lesser than Chad, bro. Chad would be better than Ichigo. Chad was physically strong as a human. Ichigo wasn't as strong as Chad as a human. Human Chad, no powers. Human Ichigo, no powers. Ichigo is going down, even though Ichigo would still beat a lot of people. But
Wait,
Chad was bigger,
wait,
though.
wait. My argument was not take away their powers. My argument was take away what they were given, not what they were born with. What they were given. Take away Kurama from Naruto. Take away the Hollow from Ichigo, and take away the Devil Fruit.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were given. They were not born with that stuff. They got that as a result of something else that was outside their control.
But if you're gonna do that, then you're gonna have to give Luffy at least haki or what's it called?
You don't have to give him anything he's not born with. Anything he gets after
You,
is result of the
you're just
story. You cannot
making it.
give that to him. You
You are
can't give
born
that.
with haki, but you just learn how to use it.
You're just
You're
making
born
things
with it.
complicated, bro.
I'm not
You're
making
born
it
with
complicated.
haki, but
I'm
you're
saying
not
take the
learn how to
story as it
use it.
is.
So
That,
If you take the story as it is, but you take out what the character is given, like we'll make another example.
so listen to
Take
what he's
Black
saying.
Clover, right?
Haki you're born with. Haki you're born with.
Right.
So Luffy was born with
chakra,
haki.
Boom.
So Luffy was born with haki. He's still surviving. He wasn't given haki, he was born with it. Boom!
yes.
Boom! Mic drop. It's over.
I didn't know that was the thing. I'll have to check that. I'm not sure about that. But
You're born with haki, just learn how to use it.
You need to learn how to use it. Here we go. If you need any reference, ask
I'll,
Nashe.
The other true One Piece fan. Nigga, I watched the One Piece. I love that anime. So if you wanna have any debate attacking my anime, you have to answer to me.
I'm not attacking the anime. I'm just saying I really feel like Naruto and Ichigo would survive their versus, but Luffy wouldn't. That's how I
Nah,
feel. It's
you
my opinion,
Yeah,
and I'm not attacking it. That's just my
yeah,
opinion. I wanted to know your opinion on it.
yeah,
well, we don't get.
yes. Without this fruit, but Luffy would have faced like a lot of trouble. Like, yeah, because in One Piece they are strong enemies. Imagine like that guy like Kaido,
Oh,
like and Doflamingo.
oh, his network is acting up.
Kaido, Doflamingo, and that
It is.
Warden with the poison fruit. Hello? Uh, is my
Magellan,
network okay
Magellan.
now? Yeah,
Yeah, your
Magellan.
network's good.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
network is acting
Magellan.
up.